anime in my life, except for the one episode you showed me. It was something about a high school.
What did I show you?
It had high school in the name.
Oh, wait, was it sure. Ouran High School Host Club? I love Ouran. Ouran is so good. I could talk about Ouran for years.
Yeah, didn't do anything.
That's fair. That's a terrible anime to start out with. You should.
You've told me that since. Yeah.
Okay, if you actually want to give anime a shot,
I'm down to give it a shot. I want to watch like some of the Studio Ghibli.
Those are,
or is it Ghibli?
Yeah, Ghibli or Ghibli. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
People are gonna correct you no matter which way you pronounce it.
Some of those.
I actually. Oh, this is a fun thing. Me and my girlfriend went to go see at the theater in town. They had a showing of the stage adaptation of Spirited Away, which is a Ghibli movie.
I think I remember seeing one of my theaters advertise.
It was so good. Like the puppetry and the set was amazing, my guy.
Interesting.
Like
I have no concept of what that would look like.
It was weird. There was a lot of there were a lot of puppetry, which I grew up on the Muppets, so I'm here for. I love puppets.
I mean, that sounds cool. That definitely sounds cooler than like Cats, where they get into their like full bodysuits or whatever.
I love Cats.
Okay.
I unironically love.
I mean,
Cats.
I'm just saying. Okay, I don't know. I guess most of my opinion is tainted by the movie.
The movie is terrible. The stage play is great. They're in bodysuits. It's fine. It's kind of weird. Yeah, they're cats.
Just saying, of the two options, if you have to show bizarre anthropomorphic characters, I feel like I would prefer to watch puppets than
that's valid.
The bodysuits.
Yeah, but the Ghibli movies are super great. All of them. I haven't seen one. Well, that's a lie. Don't watch From Up on Poppy Hill.
Okay, never heard of that.
It's.
I just know the classics like My Neighbor, Totoro, Spirited Away, and then what is it?
Howl's Moving Castle. Yeah, those are the big three.
Yeah.
Spirited Away is probably my favorite. It's the music. Every time I hear the music, I start crying. When we watched the stage play, I cried 4 separate times. And one of those was when they were doing the curtain call and I was watching all of them bow and I was like, they did so good. They're such good actors. They put their heart and soul into this. Yeah, I cry over
Sounds very, very moving.
Very emotional. Just good art gets me. When people have passion towards something, it gets me. I like it.
That, yeah. That's good. Yeah. That's good to be emotionally affected by things.
I agree, especially when it comes to like
good for you
movies and plays and things that are intended to emotionally affect you.
Yeah, I don't ever cry. I'm not the kind of person who doesn't cry in movies.
Sure.
So, not that I like am against crying in movies. I just feel like I'm so emotionally shut off from crying, which is like
that's probably not healthy.
Like when I know exactly. Like when you say that you seen something that was so moving it made you cry, I can't relate to that because I've never seen something that I've seen things that like depress me, but never like to the point in the moment that I like have to openly cry. So that's why I say good for you.
Thanks. Because there are a lot of times I see something and it's just really pretty and it's beautiful and it's so beautiful. I'm gonna cry. We are opposite sides of the spectrum on that. I will cry absolutely at every movie. I'll find something to cry over.
I mean, at this point in my life, I would not be opposed to crying if I could find the right movie to cry to.
You know, I've heard it's like it's kind of cool. You should try crying. You should give it a shot sometime. It feels amazing.
Yeah. No.
Welcome to Unqualified, the
So
show where we discuss hot takes and spicy subjects. What do we think of that
okay,
intro? Is that a good intro?
yeah, that was good.
Cool.
Sorry, I kind of zoned out while you were
Oh,
doing that.
thanks. That's
But
fine.
the home of the spicy takes, something like that, is what you said.
Unqualified, where we talk about hot takes and spicy subjects.
Okay. Like, should prostitution be
Yeah, no,
legal?
we're not doing prostitution.
Okay, that's a spicy subject. Is what you asked?
Yes, it is a spicy subject.
Okay.
No
anyways.
matter what answer we give to that, it's going to be wrong.
Anyways, so my hot take, if we're just jumping into it, is, so I'm kind of going back and forth on this now that I've like looked a little bit more into it, but I am coming into it with a hot take of haikus are lame
Okay.
and one of the worst art forms. But after I, came up with that topic, I started looking more into it, and I've been a little swayed. But I am too lazy to find another one, so I'm sticking with my original.
Are you going to commit
plan.
to that they're bad, or are you going to...
I'm going to commit to that they're bad. I think they had their time, they had their place back in Japan, I guess. I don't know when they were at the height of their popularity. But I think nowadays, whenever I see a haiku being attempted, whenever I hear a haiku, it doesn't work. And it's like, what's the point of limiting? What are you trying to communicate with 5 syllables, 7 syllables, and 5 syllables?
Mhm.
What does that restriction bring to the art?
The same could be said of any poetry, though.
But that's the thing about, I guess that's the thing, is poetry is a free form sort of blob. But I guess traditionally poems are rhyming words, and that's like at least pleasing to the ear. Is there anything pleasing about the rhyme scheme or the syllable structure of 5-7-5?
Yes.
I don't
If
think
it's
so.
done well.
I don't think so. Okay, let's look up some haikus to
Oh, while you're looking up haikus, because I want to put my one, when it comes to any art form, I think that yes, we need these rules to establish how good art works, but I think the best art is the art that,
yes.
like with poetry, you have a rhyme scheme, you have a meter, you have all of that. With movies, you have like or like with photography, you have the rule of threes or things like that. You have these set in stone rules that you can rely on to make good art, but good artists learn how to break all of those rules well.
This is very true.
Also, before I forget, because we're on the subject of haikus, there's a song by the band Tally Hall, which I have never heard anyone else. That's a lie. I've heard one singular other person recognize the band Tally Hall when I have mentioned them. And Lauren, I'm pretty sure you're never going to listen to this, but we had a connection that day in Dish Pit when we both realized we loved Tally Hall, and then rapped the entirety of Welcome to Tally Hall, and it was amazing. Anyways, they have a song called Haiku, and it starts out with the line is, I have been trying to write a haiku for you, but it always comes out wrong. I shouldn't say the entire song, almost the entire song is written in haikus that are 1 syllable wrong. So like it'll be,
that's pretty clever.
It'll be like 5-7-6 or 5-7-4 or like 4-7-5 or something like that. Like and through the whole song, and like when I realized that, I was listening to the song because it's off of an album called Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum. Please, everybody, like whoever I can get to listen to Tally Hall should listen to Tally Hall. They aren't together anymore, but they're a wonderful band with like 2 albums, and I love them. They are the band I go to when I'm being like making the joke that you wouldn't nobody listens to the music I listen to, and then people tell me I'm being pretentious and that I'm wrong, and then I say Tally Hall and they're like, yeah, we've never heard of that band. And I'm like, I know, no one has. Have you?
All right. Well, put Tally Hole on the
Yes,
list of
they're so
Tally
good.
Hole
They
and
are so
Spirited
good.
Away.
I used to listen to their album, like specifically Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum. I would just turn the lights off and just listen to that album. It is so good, and it's good as a full album.
All right.
Anyways, I'll talk about them
well,
again eventually on another episode. Haikus.
I guess we probably can't play them right now, but I guess we could play them. It's not. Is there like an issue with playing music?
Well, I assume copyright issues.
Down? Well, yes, but it's like if this was like a listen to.
That's fair. Yeah, who's gonna?
The question. my question is, as a non-listen to podcast, is there an issue? But I guess if it's going to be posted, there's some algorithm that will probably be monitoring it or something.
I'd rather not risk it.
Okay.
But I will. I will send you
on my own time
a link to the song, to Haiku, specifically, and then you can go down their rabbit hole if you want. I don't like the way I phrased that. Can we go back to haikus, please?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm just kind of scrolling through the Reddit haiku.
Oh no.
Some of these are good.
Okay.
Or they're interesting. It's just like I don't understand what the rules bring to, like, what the concept of a haiku brings to it that is not better done in any other art form. I guess you would like me to read some.
Yes, absolutely I do. You can't get away with bringing up haikus and not reading some. We spent like half the episode last time looking up ASMR videos.
That's true. Let's see. I'm gonna filter this by controversial.
Oh no.
Okay. Campus racism directed against white folks. And this is progress.
Wait, okay. Campus racism. That's 4. That's not a haiku.
Okay.
Oh, hold on.
I'm not going to vet that all these are correctly written.
White folks. They got the second line right.
Okay. Bird. No, never mind. That one's just repeating words over and over. These. Okay, I should have known that the controversial ones would all just be very political.
You know, you can end
with
any
Obamacare,
haiku with
the NSA gets to know what your doctor knows.
What?
5 syllables which are followed by 7 more, 5 more, and haiku.
I've heard that one before.
Okay, well, that one's not even an original one then. Coronavirus on Amazon packages. A 1-star review.
What? Coronavirus is on Amazon. It is on the Amazon package.
I guess I don't know what that means. It's art.
Well, that's poetry. You gotta interpret it. What do you think it means?
That's true. Okay. Let's go back. Let me go back to it. What do I think our Yarrow meant with this?
Mm-hmm.
I think he meant that he's just giving 1-star reviews to every Amazon package he orders because he got coronavirus, and is assuming the only way he could have gotten it. This was 3 years ago, so it was 2020. I bet he got coronavirus, and he's assuming the only way that he could have gotten it was from an Amazon package he ordered.
Did he?
And so he's
did he order the coronavirus?
It says on Amazon packages, not inside of an Amazon package. But maybe inside of an Amazon package was too many syllables, so he shortened it.
That would make sense.
I don't know. That's my interpretation.
Yeah, and that's what art's about, man.
I have a sickness. I can't get a comfy sleep. Diarrhea sucks.
Did you just say diarrhea sucks?
I did.
Okay.
That's
that one's relatable. That one, it speaks to the everyman. We've all been there.
God's own monster truck. Satan's bazooka roaring. Ninja apostles. Hitler must be praised for his trendy mustache and okay, maybe I should.
Yeah, maybe we should go on the Reddit, the Reddit haikus. Hitler should be praised. Whew.
Okay. Anyways, I think here's my take after looking more into them is that reading them kind of does work for me. Like I feel like I just associate. I think it's my association of poetry with rhyming and like being pleasant to listen to. And I don't feel like a haiku is all that pleasant to listen to. When I'm just reading it and can get the meaning by just reading it in my head, and then I guess the concept of it being as brief as possible but saying as much as it can,
right,
is like a cool concept to read. But when I think of poetry, I want to be able to hear something that sounds good, and I don't know.
Well, no, I would agree with that. I think that's
don't
like I think
they don't rhyme. They don't sound good.
No, I think sound good is the right words for that, because I think with any form of writing, even prose versus poetry, like the biggest thing that gets me when I'm reading like a novel or something is when the lines don't flow together and it's very choppy and it doesn't, like, it ruins your mind will go into a flow state while reading if there's a rhythmic passage to the paragraphs and how it's set up and the specific words used. And that's what that's where the art and the hard work side of poetry and writing comes in. And I think poetry and just like novel writing and fiction, they are so much more closely related than we give them credit for.
Well, also, okay, another thing that to consider is that if they, originated in Japan, they have a whole different kind of concept of what constitutes a syllable, I guess. Like, I don't know anything about the Japanese language, but it sounds completely different from, and like the way they structure their sentences and how they speak and how they, write words perhaps, plays better into the format of a haiku than it does in English.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because there is, like you said, there's differences in. Would there be differences in this? Well, I guess if it's in Japanese, yeah, because the words themselves would be different when reading them out loud.
Yeah, so like maybe you could fit in a lot more meaning into a haiku than
I do think
a Japanese haiku than an English haiku.
Haikus are probably, if I'm reading poetry, haikus are probably to me the most pleasant to the eye.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it means that you can read a lot more poems a lot faster.
That's true, because they're like 6 words long.
True. Yeah, I guess that's fair. Like the pleasing to the eye on the page is a fair point, I guess.
But as I say that, like, I hate visual poetry so much.
Okay, so what is this hot take? What's your
This is not
what's your
my
thing
hot
against
take
visual poetry
of the episode.
I know this is not your hot take,
but it is a hot take.
But why? Okay, but why is this preference of your hatred of visual poetry more
because
more justified than my dislike of haikus? Not that you said that it was, but you were arguing against me.
Because I am more important than you.
Okay, I should have thought about that a little harder.
I'm, basically a god.
Right,
in human form.
I forget that. I do forget that sometimes when
Please don't forget it.
When we're talking.
Again, I might have to smite you if you do.
Okay. Um, sorry, but anyways, could you
Yes.
maybe what's your?
It's because, like I talked about with, I think writing, you have to have a flow to the sentences and the specific words you use and how the paragraphs are even set up. And that will influence the emotions felt when reading it.
Okay.
But with visual poetry, I feel like I am so scattered just trying to figure out like the correct way to read it.
That's true.
Whereas like with haikus, I say it's more pleasing to the eye, but that's because it's in this like little box chunk, and it doesn't go beyond that little
Yes.
box chunk on the page.
Right.
And because it's
And
575, they're all kind of generally the same shape.
yeah, no, they are. Um, have you heard of the book, The House of Leaves?
Yes, I've been meaning to get it.
I am currently reading it,
How is
but
it?
that one's
Who is that
it's really
written
good
by?
so far. Um, I can't remember. I have it sitting right here. I can go look at it.
And also, how is it?
Mark Danielewski. I don't know if I said that right, but that's his name. I'm about a little under halfway, but it's really good so far. But the reason I brought it up is just because it's like, if you know anything about the book, it's not written in a regular format. It's like written through. It's supposed to be like a manuscript of was found by someone, and he's given his commentary on it, and it's like of a third party telling another story of another story, and it's written in the form of a bunch of like footnotes and
Okay.
like it comes in like a whole bunch of little like I don't know, segments, I guess is the right word. Like it's very choppy
Mhm.
and you're not really sure who's the narrator at certain points, and it's not formatted in like a regular book is. Like the words are flipped around at parts. I think I looked ahead and I think there's like a braille portion or
Dang.
something, and I don't know, it's
Oh.
interesting. And so half the time you get like confused if you're reading the footnotes or the actual
Right.
story. And
I
but yeah, that's one of the things where it's like, what does the visual layout of it add to the meaning of the story?
That is a good
And I
point
think it
because
adds.
give me 1 second. I'm gonna go grab a book and be right back.
Okay.
Just like I don't know, start saying nonsense.
Oh, you want me to talk this whole time? Did Anthony dye his hair? His hair looks a little lighter. But I guess I'll just read some more haikus while we're sitting here. The unsinkable sinks. People fail to understand. Hope is a mirage. I guess, is that about the Titanic, maybe?
I'm back.
Uh,
Bang my knee on my
okay.
desk. Because you made me think about poetry and the ADHD took off as it does.
Yes.
Um,
Did you dye your hair?
I do have a streak in it. I'm letting it grow out until it is gone because I don't actually
Nice.
care for it that much.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I just saw it very briefly as you ran away. But
That was like 2 years ago. I don't know.
2 years ago you dyed it?
I think so. Yeah.
How did I not notice it when I visited you?
Probably because my hair was pulled back.
I guess so.
What? How long ago was that? When did you come into town?
In January.
Oh yeah, it definitely would have been dyed. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I did not notice it. But I guess it was pulled back, maybe.
Oh, I hope the mic didn't pick that up. I'm pretty sure it did. I'll fix that.
I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything.
I saw it on the capture, so it might be in there a little bit. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
but you talking about House of Leaves made me think of this. I got this book. My girlfriend actually got it for me. It's called Not a Lot of Reasons to Sing, But Enough. And it does that same thing where it kind of plays with the formatting, but it's set up as it's a poetry and prose book. It's from the perspective of a research robot in this post-apocalyptic wasteland who keeps traveling to these like various tribes and learning their stories and their songs and their poems. It's very fascinating. I really enjoy it. I haven't gotten super far, cool. But there's one line that stuck out to me. This is some riveting audio listening to me talk about poetry.
How is it formatted?
It is mostly in like poems or just straight up like regular writing prose.
Okay.
But I always like these, I guess, like kind of poetry books because there's usually a line. Usually most of it I don't really remember, but there's always a line that like kind of punches me in the heart or something.
I'm excited to get punched in the heart.
But it's, it occurs to me, I don't know all the gods, but I've never heard of a god of freedom. We have a god of war, but not for the thing we're told everyone is fighting for. And there's more before and after that for context, cool. But it's just that line when I read that, I was just like, damn.
Yeah, that's a cool line.
That's why I love poetry and I love writing and I love art so much.
I was going to comment on it, but I don't want to go down another tangent about war and freedom and the government.
That's fair.
So
that's valid.
About House of Leaves, I guess the format of it like adds to this like feeling of going insane, and so that kind of, I don't know, the visual look of it adds to the meaning of the words.
I think that's fair.
And I guess a haiku, I guess the point is, say as much as you can in as small of a package. The look of it is important.
Yeah.
I forgot how this started. You said you hated it. You said you didn't like it.
Haikus?
Because it was disjointed. Oh, no. You said just visually.
Oh, yeah, visual poetry. I don't. It disrupts the flow when I'm reading.
Yeah. Some of it is stupid.
Yeah.
When,
So there is. Sure. I love poetry. There's
always going to be bad art.
Yeah.
There's always going to be bad forms of art. But
I think part of the problem is people think that if they do poetry, it makes them profound. And it's like just because something rhymes or has a meter, or because you decided not to rhyme or have a meter and call it poetry, it doesn't make it profound.
I feel like poetry of all the art forms probably has the least amount of rules.
Yes.
So that means there's probably the most amount of bad versions of it.
Because you can pretty much write anything down and call it poetry, and then if somebody says it's not, you're like, well, define poetry then.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good discussion on poetry.
Yes. And we solved whether haikus are good or not. Definitely came to a conclusion.
Yes. Never mind. I'm not going to say it, but go. Let's switch to yours.
Okay. I gotta pick one now. Quick, back to the Google Doc so I can remember what they were. Oh, okay. Pick A or B for mine.
Okay. A.
Okay. My hot take is that esports should be in the Olympics.
All right, that's pretty hot.
Yeah.
What's the...
So...
Why?
Okay. With, like, quote-unquote regular sports, there's a workout regimen, there's a diet regimen, there's all this stuff that goes into it to make you better at these sports. When you do those things to competitive esports players, they will play better due to their workout regimen and their diet and the amount of work they put into it. It takes just as much talent and skill to be good at Overwatch as it does to be good at football. And also, American sports suck. But that's besides the point. I'm not going to go on how American football is a terrible sport and it's boring. That's a different hot take. We'll talk about that later. But like we don't give esports athletes credit for the work they are putting in to what they are doing.
Is the argument that they should be included with physical sports, or that they should just be more recognized? But you think they should be included
I think if
with
pole
the
vaulting
physical
is a sport, esports should be a thing. I think if long jump is a sport, then esports should be a thing. Arguably more than, I would say, probably, this is where it's going to get really spicy, more than like gymnastics or like ice skating or things that are judge sports, which I think judge sports are their own problem and stupid because it's just completely up to subjectivity of the judges. And yeah, people can argue with me and be like, oh, there's actually standards, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, well, it takes just as much work to be good at esports. And there is an actual standard by a computer that can give you a time or an accuracy or whatever other stat you want more than someone just looking at you and being like, that jump wasn't as good as that other person's jump.
I don't feel like you are correct.
Okay.
In
fight me.
It being, not that they don't deserve recognition.
Okay.
I think that, it's a skill like any other. Well, not like any other, but it is a skill that's valuable. Or actually, I don't know if it's valuable. It's a skill, regardless. Either way. I don't know. I don't think it is the same level as like a physical, discipline of your body.
But it is a physical discipline.
I think that anybody, I feel like anybody could become good enough at a video game.
You are completely wrong.
But not anybody could be good enough to compete in the Olympics.
Not anybody can be good at a video game. There is so much like the finger dexterity and the hand-eye coordination.
I agree. People, they're like, you've been playing longer than others, definitely. But I think if you like committed the amount of time, like, I don't know. I think you could get really good at games a lot more quickly than you could get ready to compete physically.
I would to be on a competitive level, I would 100% disagree.
All right.
Because you can be good. Can be good enough to play like baseball with your friends, but to be at a professional competitive level, it has to become your life. And also the fact that esports teams exist and they are a huge part of culture in like South Korea and Japan. Like they have audiences. They will make millions, but they just refuse to fund it. I use the amorphous they of, I don't know who I'm referring to. The corporate overlords who rule us all.
Just refuse to fund it. Yeah, I'm not saying like, I'm not trying to diss their, the games, or saying that they're, not worth recognition. I just don't feel like they're to be in the same category as physical sports.
They are a physical sport.
I think it's an entirely different, competition.
So why should like figure skating be in there? Because anybody can get good enough at figure skating.
It's a matter of conditioning and disciplining your body,
which you also need
in a abnormal way. Which I guess in the limited sense of finger dexterity, maybe
hand-eye coordination,
esports.
The fact that your physical health will directly influence how good you are at a video game.
I don't know. I just feel like
proven fact. Is that your diet will affect how good you are at video games.
Okay, well, I'm sure. I mean, your diet will affect
That's true.
everything that you do, but I don't know. I'm not a gamer myself, so as always, I am unqualified. Wink, wink. To speak to this, but
I don't get it.
I just don't see what. Excuse me.
I said I don't get it. Could you explain the joke, please? I don't understand.
No.
Oh, okay. Dang it.
I don't know. I think they're fine as their own separate things.
So
I don't think they're equal. I think they're separate levels. They're both, good competitions, I guess, but I think they're separate things that are being trained.
But would you be like avidly against them being added to the Olympics?
I don't watch the Olympics anyways.
That's fair.
So I would not care.
That
But if it was mandatory for every citizen to vote yes or no, I would vote no. I think it kind of I don't know. I think it is it's also kind of just a matter of, is exercise and working out and sticking to a strict diet fun? And, is playing a video game fun?
So in order for
So it's
something
like
to be a
the
sport,
training.
it has to not be fun.
No,
I agree
I'm
with
just
this.
saying.
That's a take I can
I'm
get
just
behind.
saying. I'm just saying the training of these two separate things. One is extremely difficult, and it can be painful. It's very hard to stick with. It really requires incredible discipline.
Mm-hmm.
That's training for esports. You get into it because it's fun, and I'm not.
Isn't that
I
how
think
people
it's
get into
just
get into regular sports?
not necessarily. I mean, I would say most Olympic athletes get into it because their parents force them to, and then because you got to do it your whole life, and then if and then you have to make it count because you've spent so much of your life training in this one very limited sport that you got to make it count, or else you're out on the street with not really built any other skills.
Kind of like a video game.
I mean, yeah, like any skill, I guess, but I'm just saying they're different levels. Like a video game, you sit down and play a video game for fun, I think. A video game is fun. I don't think the Olympics are fun. They're
So yes, like
they're admirable, they're respectable, they're and you do it for honor and
I play
I
video
guess just
games
to
for
kn-
honor.
that-
Thank
just
you. I
just
beat
to know
Elden
that you're
Ring
in
for
control of
honor.
your body, but you don't play video games for the same reason. I guess obviously the mindset kind of transforms to that once you get to the level of esports, but I don't think that it starts with the same kind of discipline and dedication that Olympic athletes have to go through.
Oh, but they absolutely do. That like most of their day is training in their esport of choice.
I don't know. I think too, if we made that a paid thing that was like to the level of the Olympics, too many people would just play video games all day.
Most people already play video games all day. Like 90% of our generation is
do
gamers.
Do we need more people to do that then? Do we need, if we say most people already do it, do we need even more people to do it because they think they can get
Yes.
on the Olympics?
So we can all get plugged into the Matrix and be ready for our robot overlords.
Okay, yeah, I did forget about that too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You got it. Listen.
I don't know.
Always say thank you to your Alexa. Always.
Hey Alexa. Thank you.
Good job. I don't own an Alexa, so
do you hear her?
I did not.
Did you hear her talking? She just said, "You're welcome."
Oh, cool. Good job.
Um,
That's how you know when the
Thanks.
robot overlords take over. They're gonna spare the gamers.
I guess. Well, because I don't know, because the gamers are probably the only ones they could spare. I don't think they could catch any of the Olympic runners or the Olympic athletes.
I don't know. I think they could catch like the tennis players.
They could maybe catch the tennis players, but I don't know. That's the thing with the Olympics, is that there's an association with being disciplined over your body and having a certain kind of, I don't know. It's all physical. It's about being physical, and video games are just not physical.
So is chess a sport?
It's still a skill. Is chess a sport?
Yes.
Okay, no. Well, now it's kind of the definition of what is a
That's
sport.
fair.
I don't think chess is chess in the Olympics?
I don't
Chess
think
is
so.
not in the Olympics.
It wouldn't surprise me though.
I would say chess should be in the same level as esports. So, I mean, you could kind of say I mean, it's different skill sets, I guess, but it's still mostly mental, I think.
There's a petition to add chess to the 2024 Olympic Games.
Okay, well, that's not going to happen. But I would think that's in the same category as esports. It's a mental emphasis on mental skills. But no hate towards chess either. Like, chess is very. I couldn't play good chess.
I am so bad at chess.
Still to have. You and I should play chess sometimes. Sounds like we may be equally matched.
Probably. I just kind of move random pieces until somebody wins.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's kind of my take on it. I think you and I have opposite takes.
Probably.
I don't know that you're gonna sway me over.
You're probably not gonna sway me over. I don't even know if I actually want. I'm not gonna lie. I am probably with you. I don't watch the Olympics. I don't care if esports are in the Olympics.
Would you watch it if esports were in it? Do you watch esports?
I don't watch sports. The only sport I watch is soccer, and that's very occasionally. If it happens to be on at work.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I don't watch any.
I kind of hate most sports.
Here's the other thing that I kind of understand. I don't know. When people like rag on YouTube gamers and they're like, why would you ever want to like watch it when you can just play it? And then people say it's the same argument for sports, but you can't necessarily play. Not everyone can play sports. Everyone theoretically can play any video game. So I kind of understand that. Like, it's like, why do you watch other people play? I guess if they're so great, if they're so good that it like at esports level, then you would watch.
I think.
But yeah, I guess going back to like the level of YouTube gamers, why would you watch? If maybe they're good commentary or something.
I think.
But just like those people that just silently play, like Twitch streamers.
Oh yeah, I can't watch that. But I do watch a few YouTube Let's Players. Like, to be fair,
if they have something to add with commentary or something, it's
typically in a like I watch Game Grumps. They're a comedy channel. Like their episode, I watch them like every day because it's my 30 minutes of just I don't have to think about anything, so I watch Game Grumps for a bit.
Yeah.
And like today,
no, the comedy.
It's a Mary-Kate and Ashley episode. I never want to play the Mary-Kate and Ashley game, but it's really funny watching the Game Grumps play it.
Okay, no, for comedy purposes, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I just think that the video games. I also feel like video games, it's a lot more set in what can happen. I feel like with the Olympics, it's always like it's pushing the limits of what is physically possible. Video games, you kind of know how good it can possibly be, and then there's that ceiling.
As somebody
it's like you can only go so fast. You can only go to these one portions of the map. You can only.
As someone who has broken every single game I have ever played, I promise you, there are ways to get around every single boundary and parameter.
But that would not be.
I don't mean to do it.
Sports that would not be allowed.
It just happens.
Okay, well, I'm saying in esports, that would automatically disqualify you if you start breaking the rules of the game.
I don't break the. Okay.
I don't know.
My theory is if the game allows it to happen, it is just creative use of the game's rules. There is no rule that says I can't strap a controller to my dog's paws and let him play Rocket League for me.
That's true.
There's not a rule.
There is no rule that says that. That's true. I don't think that would be in your favor, but
have you seen Air Bud?
Yes.
I have not.
But Air Bud was not in esports. He was.
Yeah, but it could have been.
Basketball. He was in the Olympics. He was in the regular Olympics. He could have been though if they allowed.
Was he just in a high school team, or was he actually in the Olympics?
No, he was not. He was not in the Olympics.
Okay,
that'd be ridiculous.
It's a movie about a dog playing basketball.
True. It would be ridiculous though if he was in the Olympics. I could believe that.
That's the part you would have a problem with.
Exactly.
Not the dog playing basketball.
Yes. Yeah.
Gotcha.
The Olympics is a little too far.
That's fair.
But But yeah, going back to the reasoning behind why you watch these things. You watch the Olympics to see a person pushing their body to like the absolute limits and to see if they can stretch it even further. Like if a new world record's going to be set. Video games, it's like you already know what's going to happen. They can only move the controller so fast.
Yeah, but
like, why you can't watch it in the same with that same, reasoning.
Well, as soon as you add like it's two teams opposing each other, just the nature of human interaction, it becomes instantly unpredictable.
In my mind, there's more at stake with the Olympics.
There's more at stake with like Olympic sports than video games?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
There's just more, yeah. It tells you what the human body is capable of doing, and it's like really inspiring. That inspires me, Anthony. Even though I don't watch the Olympics or care, but the theory
you're
of it
inspired.
inspires me. Yeah, I am inspired. I don't think I will ever be inspired by esports, even though I would say that's cool. But I don't think I would ever,
So
like,
just,
wow,
just trivia
it
question.
makes me glad to be human.
Just to see how inspired you are by the Olympics. Where did the last Olympics?
I kind of want to watch the. It was really controversial, wasn't it? It was like, I can tell you right now.
I have no idea, man.
I'm desperately trying to remember. It was really controversial because like the government was doing something. I think it was like somewhere in China, wasn't it?
Oh, was it Beijing?
The government was doing something weird.
No.
Yeah, Beijing. That's what it was.
Was it?
Yep. Yes, it was Beijing. I'm pretty positive it was Beijing. Yeah, that's what it was. I kind of want to watch the Olympics.
Oh
now,
yeah,
just thinking
Beijing
about
Olympics, right?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Huh.
That was a big deal. Everyone was mad about that because the government was doing shady stuff, I think.
Really?
And I don't remember what it was, but I remember like it was all over the news and headlines and podcasts and stuff. People were talking about how they were kind of rethinking the Olympics and who should be able to host and compete if you act a certain way. So,
interesting.
Yeah.
Hooray, global politics. My favorite subject.
Also, that's another thing is the Olympics brings like the entire world together under like the condition that, we're all human and have the same, the same human body. Can the whole world come together over video games?
Can the whole world come together over hockey?
No, I guess not. But there are other still sports.
Sure.
Like video games is very limited to, I think first world countries. That's it's like a privilege. It's like a luxury to be able to spend time on a video game.
But okay.
In theory though, any country could, someone could train and hard enough to join the Olympics. Even if they, don't have the money to buy an Xbox.
Why would you buy an Xbox anyway?
So there's just kind of that base level of that isn't there for esports. I have an Xbox, by the way, Anthony.
Ooh, gross. Are you one of those Xbots? Or are you a Sony crony?
I actually stand more by the Wii, the original Wii.
That's fair. The Wii's a classic. You can't knock the Wii.
That's true. You can't because it's the best console of them all. That should have been my hot take.
The Switch. You can bring that.
It's
hot
kind of crazy.
I will fight you on that one.
Okay, I'm putting it down in our Google
yeah.
Doc. That's my next one. The Wii is the best gaming console. Tune in next time for that.